Hello, welcome to Skye Sweaty Record Review, episode 94. It's the only first listen, unedited new music review show hosted by a French professor immediately after leaving the YMCA. Now, today I'm going to be reviewing an album by someone named Skye FX, who apparently is a huge innovator of the genre of jungle and drum and bass. And 25 years ago, he was one of the founders of jungle music, which if you don't know is like electronic music with extremely fast drums. That's the easiest way to describe it. I didn't know that. I don't know anything about Skye FX. I don't really know that much about English music, now that I think about it. But this whole week has been just like English music all the time. You know, I did the Scar Lord, which I thought was interesting, and then of course Dave, that album, which is amazing, and I made my review of it, and it's gotten a lot of good responses, which is good, because I think it's one of my best videos. Check it out if you haven't. And then Skye FX, another South London guy who's making amazing music. I don't know what's happening in England. This happened like a couple months ago where Australia came out with like good album after good album. So here you go. It's called Raggamuffin Soundtape. And I was initially drawn to it just because I like the cover. I'm going to show it to you in the way that I do. There's the Raggamuffin Soundtape cover. Just a young guy dressed nicely sitting on top of a speaker. Had kind of a nice retro feel. Reminded me of like 70s soul or whatever it was. It was just a very pleasing album cover. And I started listening to it. Now, first of all, it's called Raggamuffin Soundtape, and I assume that's because it's trying to be a mixture of a lot of different kinds of ragamuffin music. A lot of genres here. Reggae is kind of like heavy metal, where there's so many different genres, and I just hear it and I just go, okay, it's some guy with a Caribbean accent talking quickly, and the music is played on offbeats. It's reggae. It's all the same. Bob Marley, Shaggy, it's all the same, right? Whatever. Chronics, all these people who I like and listen to. King Tubby, same thing as Prince Jammy, same thing as, I don't know how to differentiate all these things. And I don't mean to insult anybody who can. I love reggae, I own a lot of it, but I've never spent the time to say, this is roots, this is dancehall, this is ragamuffin, this is whatever. So apparently, the term ragamuffin basically just refers to any kind of reggae that is kind of like dancehall, but mainly that it's electronic and includes sampling and merges quite nicely with hip-hop. That is way underselling what this album is. It's not just a sound tape mixing different kinds of reggae. It's a sound tape just mixing all sorts of different genres together, all different voices, all different textures, but at no point does it feel forced. I mean, it starts off, okay, and the first, real song is this track that sends you immediately into a Marvin Gaye What's Going On ambience. The singer is like a cross between 70s Marvin Gaye and Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke, that kind of thing. And it's this beautiful song called Call Me. And I'll just play a little bit of it so you get a sense of that atmosphere. I'm pulling up title here. So here's that Marvin Gaye atmosphere I was talking about. So I heard this and I was like, is this ragamuffin? What makes this like British techno at all? And then, okay, it keeps going. I went too early to just, how do I move forward on this thing? Old man gets confused by interface. Here we go. And then here's when the drum beat comes in. So it's this great mixture of this like drum and bass music with this 70s soul singing, all just layered so nicely together. So the track, this natural integration of genres starts off this album immediately. And I'm already just excited. I'm on the elliptical. I don't have Chief Chirpa there. I'm on the elliptical and I'm all excited. And then the next track is Carnival Culture, which is one of the many interludes in the album. Most of the interludes are just somebody, I suppose him, talking in a very thick Caribbean accent, saying stuff, I don't know, mostly about how great he is. I actually don't know. And then it goes into the song Raggamuffin, featuring Mr. Williams, ending with a Z. And this gets the absolute Skye stamp. This is just an amazing track. It's like a dance hall track, but it develops. It's hard to really do it justice playing it through the speaker on my phone onto your onto the iPhone that's recording this, through the YouTube that you're watching this, and the little speakers that you're hearing it. I really suggest you seek out this track, Raggamuffin by Skye FX. Listen to the production on this thing. And these drums that go throughout. I mean, they're sampled drums, but the sound on them is so clear and so nice.
Raggamuffin for them case this year, them know now no fear now. Yeah, my selector. Here, there, and everywhere. Who's that? Any sound try test, we a go beat it. Name and them fame, we delete it. That means we crush them completely. Bad boy, and you know it's not no secret. In this session, we kill them so easy.
Yeah, it's really hard to turn this one off. That's a sign that it's such a great track. And he's not... He has all these guest appearances, you know, Mr. Williams, and at some point he has Cara Delevingne, who's apparently some, like, Instagram actress. I don't know. But they all come on, and you really get the sense that he's producing this album, and he's getting people to join, but he's not just grabbing them because he can. Like, they all fit the songs really nicely. I'm just going to go through the whole album, because the track is track after track after track, excellent. The worst track on Raggamuffin Soundtape is good, okay? The song Bye Bye Bye, it's a little bit more of a dub, roots reggae sound. Again, the production is really good. At the end, he often does a thing where he just makes it a little bit more complicated. It needs to be a little bit more developed than it needs to be. These horns come in. And then the song Warning, where he kind of lets his jungle side take over with just a full jungle drum beat, which is really quite nice. Just happen to like the jungle drum beat. I'll let you hear that for a second. Here we go. So that's the jungle drum beat, if you don't know. And usually... But constantly, where you think he's going to do something that's like, okay, pretty cool, he makes it more interesting. He layers it further. So like those horns come in and the singing comes in. And then the next track is an absolute murderer. It is, okay, in my car, I have a 2010 Toyota Sienna. The whole like, oh, I'm a dad living in the suburbs. Not an act. I have a 2010 Toyota Sienna. Great car. But the interface with the iPhone doesn't work that well. So like half the time I try to plug in Tidal to stream music, it just flashes error 5 and I can't listen to anything. And I can tell how good music is going to be by my reaction at error 5. So I put in the song Balaclava featuring MC Spider on the track just to listen to just on the way home from the gym. Like I couldn't wait to hear the song again, just driving on the way home to the gym. I should walk, who cares? I'm a hypocrisy. I'm a hypocrite. I'm a hypocrite. As I'm driving, error 5 pops up and I slam my hand on the dash and I'm like, damn it! I'm like, unplug the thing, plug it back in, turn it back on, because I cannot wait to hear this song. This song is just a complete murderer. It's just so good. It's like, it's got dogs barking and sirens and this really heavy bass and just total menace all the way through. You know, the guy's talking about wearing a balaclava and you can't see his face. And, you know, he's probably criminal. I don't know. He's got guns. He's doing robbery. He doesn't really care. And again, you have to listen to this on your headphones. I'll give you a small taste of what it sounds like. It comes in with awesome clapping. Just listen to this right here. This is so good. I better shut up. Here we go. Camera. So you can't hear it here, but the bass is super heavy, way in your ear, and it just pulses and pounds. I almost broke the elliptical. I was going so hard during this song. And so he layers it in the sirens. Later he layers it in the dogs, and okay, you can't tell. Don't take me dancing around as an indication of that song. It's just great. And it's the range of this album. This album's amazingly rangy. Going from a great Marvin Gaye style song to like a song that makes you want to dress in a balaclava and rob a liquor store. Okay? Bad After We is the closest song to just a straight hip hop song. I felt very I don't know. I was happy because I listened to the guy rapping and he has a very low voice. What's his name? Koji Raddy, who cares? And I thought, he reminds me of Jeru the Damager, the guy who used to rhyme with Busta Rhymes. I'm like, there's no way he knows who he is. And then at the end of the song, they go, woo-ha! And I'm like, hey, a Busta Rhymes reference. Maybe I'm kind of close. There's a couple tracks toward near the end where he appears to be making a push towards being pop. Rude Boy Love Song. It's with Cara Delvini. It's kind of forgettable, but catchy. It's the worst song on the album, and I would listen to it again. Interesting interplay between low voices and high voices. Bad Boy Business, another kind of forgettable drum and bass song, with like a weird vapor-wavy tune to it. But then there's just a break, and a crazy, like almost dubstep breakdown, and then it goes back. It ends up being this great modular song. What was almost a legitimate low light ended up being interesting. The last sort of sing song on here is a track called Too Shy, which is sort of like a Timbaland and Aaliyah song. It's just a sultry R&B track. Again, like sort of towards the end, it's not as good as it is in the beginning, but it's still very listenable. And then it ends kind of with a whimper with the song Roll the Dice, which is trying to sound like a Western. So there you go. There's Raggamuffin Soundtape by Skye FX. A friend of mine on Facebook, my age, documentary filmmaker, really good guy. He's making a documentary about the art of Dungeons and Dragons right now. Interesting guy. He posted on Facebook like, hey, I'm looking for new music. And a lot of guys my age are saying that. And I had to erase my response. Because my response was like, dude, if you're looking for new music, just look for new music. It's all there. Like, I've heard like 7 great albums in the last 2 weeks. That's all too exciting. All right. Well, as I always say, as I say for the last week, new music is the fountain of mental youth. And there is the camera. I still know where it is.